everyone, today's episode is about how to communicate like a fifth grader. So if you want to know what peanut butter and jelly has to do with how to communicate the easy way, keep watching. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, the best place for new and emerging leaders who want help navigating challenging situations in the workplace. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new to me, I'm Jaboria Scott, a leadership coach and consultant. Today's video is called How to Communicate Like a Fifth Grader with specific tips on how to communicate the easy way. When we're busy at work and it's very easy for managers and their teams to get crossways in their communication, especially when we're developing a new process or a new procedure. That's why I'm sharing a simple way of communicating procedural changes using the sandwich metaphor. This is something that has been around for quite a long time, and it's a method that teachers have used over time to help teach procedural writing text or procedural changes. It's a very good way of communicating how to complete a complicated process very simply. How it works is that you normally explain the process in sequential steps. So the basic process of explaining is, in step 1, do this. In step 2, do that. In step 3, do the other, and so on. But here's the problem. In business, we miscommunicate because 1, we often make assumptions. 2, we're busy so we don't clarify. And 3, we forget to include all of the steps. And the fact is that some projects can have serious consequences if you get things wrong because there's a lot at stake. That's why I'm sharing this technique to help you out. So let's get into it. For the purposes of this video, let's start by using an example of how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I know that this may seem overly simplistic, but stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. So step 1 is to state the materials you'll need. You'll need sliced bread, a knife, a flat surface, a jar of jelly, and a jar of peanut butter. Step 2, open the bread package, take out 2 slices from the package and lay them on a flat surface. Step 3, open each jar and take a knife. Step 4, using the knife, scoop a dollop of jelly on bread and spread it on one of the slices. Step 5, afterward do the same for the peanut butter on the other slice. Step 6, when you're done, close the sandwich by placing one slice on top of the other with the peanut butter and jelly facing each other. Step 7, eat your sandwich. So that process seems simple enough, right? Because we've all made sandwiches 1,000 times, right? But this may not be true for someone who doesn't eat sandwiches and has never made one. And in the same way, someone who is new to your job may not know all of the steps for your team because they haven't done it using your process. And if your new hire is trying to complete a process from procedures that you created without thinking about what a person would need to know if they're new to your process, things could get challenging for them. This is because sometimes we communicate based on what we already know about and how to complete the process instead of creating it as if we are newbies. This leads me to my first tip for how to communicate and create procedures that translate well. Tip number 1 for how to communicate the easy way is don't make assumptions. It's easy to assume that because you know how to do something, that other people know how to do it too, especially at work. We say things like, they should know this, or they should know how to do this or that by now. When the reality is that sometimes people just don't know because they haven't done it before. Just like in the sandwich making example. What if I told you to put the peanut butter and jelly on top of the bread as step 1 in the sandwich making process? And if you took both closed jars and placed them directly on top of the closed packaged loaf of bread, you wouldn't be wrong. You would have done exactly what I said. The takeaway here is don't assume that someone else knows what to do just because you do. Take the necessary steps to communicate the process using the best methods for explaining the work that you do. Now, don't get me wrong, there will always be some level of miscommunication that's unavoidable in business. But looking at our most common assumptions can eliminate some of that. Type "don't assume" below if you agree with this tip. Tip 2 for how to communicate the easy way is to strive for clarity. This means try to keep things clear even if it's detailed and a detailed process. Use simple language. We know that some processes and procedures can become technical really quickly. So try to break up very technical things down into bite-sized chunks that are easy to digest so that everyone understands. Simply say what you mean even if it requires detail. Eliminating anything that's not relevant, just like in the sandwich making example that I gave. In step 1, when I discussed the materials needed to make the sandwich, instead of saying that we needed bread, I specifically mentioned that we needed sliced bread. What I didn't say was whether the bread needed to be wheat bread or white bread because that didn't matter for the instructions and it wasn't an essential part of the communication. Tip number 3 for how to communicate the easy way is to include all of the steps. It's common to leave some of the steps out of the process because of those assumptions that I mentioned earlier. However, when writing or communicating your procedure, don't miss the important steps. An excerpt from an article published by mindtools.com called "Writing a Procedure, Making Sure Things Are Done Without Mistakes and Omissions" states that procedures are the workhorses of the company. While policies guide the way people make decisions, procedures show the how-tos for completing a task or process. Procedures are action-oriented. They outline steps to take and the order in which they need to be taken. Well-written procedures are typically solid, precise, factual, short, and to the point. This means that it's a very necessary form of communication. So be sure to include all of the steps so that people know exactly what to do. Click the like button if you appreciate when people communicate and include all of the necessary steps. The key for how to communicate the easy way so that things translate well is to ensure that your communication is clear and make your process easy to follow. Now, because this channel is all about helping you communicate and perform at your best, be sure to take advantage of the free resources and guides and checklists that I created for working professionals just like you. The links to my free products are in the description below, as well as the links for my ebook and paid coaching programs. Also, if you're a new hire who wants a roadmap of how to make a noticeable and impact positive change in your first 90 days, or if you're a working professional who's experiencing a slump in your current position and you need a jump start, I created a course called How to Make a Huge Impact at Work in 90 Days. It's the 90-day success master plan, so be sure to check it out. The course links with any promotions are in the description box, and promotions are available only while they last, so be sure to check it out. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. As always, have a great week, be kind to yourself, and thank you so very much for your support. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.